Some SEC teams really flexed their muscles in week one, while a few others fell flat on their faces. What will week two bring? It's time to get the squad together.
You're talking ball with the SEC squad. From Alabama to Tennessee, from Georgia to Oklahoma, from Auburn to Texas, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming SEC weekend. It's the SEC squad, and we have a seat for you. Hurt feelings and thin skin are prohibited. Squad up, you're part of the SEC squad.
Oh, welcome into the SEC squad. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and join us as we get you ready for another week talking all things SEC. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Just like there's more to every player, more dedication, more attention to detail. There's more to a Mazda vehicle. Stay tuned later in the episode for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. Let's welcome in our panel this week. Chris Gordy from Locked On SEC is me. Zach Blackerby from Locked On Auburn. Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss. John Neighbors, Locked On Razorbacks. Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy. Jaron Spohr of Locked On Mississippi State. Jimmy Stein, Locked On Bama. John Miller, Locked On Mizzou. Clint Shamblin from Locked On Bulldogs. Chris Marler, Locked On Gamecocks. And our buddy Jay Smith from Locked On Sooners is here. You just can't even see him because we can't fit enough people on here. That's how jacked we are. Gentlemen, welcome in. We've gotten through the first week. We're into week two. Everybody's feeling good except for Texas and Bama. But let's jump into it as we always do. First segment, give me a prediction for your team this week. Doesn't have to be a score prediction, but just something you want to see from your team this week or expect. Zach, we'll start with you.
Thank you for the floor, Gordy. Clint Shamblin. What in the world, man? Are your hamstrings okay, or did you pull them with all this stretching and twisting that you did all last squad? You talked about, Auburn's going to lose because Baylor is this force in the Big 12, and there's so much to be concerned with. And then y'all go live on Sunday, and all of a sudden you're like, they just beat Baylor. That's it. The inconsistency, it's mind-blowing. I just want to hear what you have to say for yourself as far as like what actually happened between those two shows.
What happened between the two shows is twofold. One, Dave Aranda reminded me why he's an awful coach. Thing number one. Thing number two, that I still want to see happen. I still want to see take place. I still want to see the passing game evolve for Auburn. I said if that evolves, if the coming weeks evolves, I am nervous as all get out. There was an incredible run opportunity.
Just dropping safeties. You're like, yeah, let's throw it no matter what. It's ridiculous. That's such a ridiculous thing to say from a guy who cheers for a team that's done nothing but just take what the defense gives you and manage a game and get carried by a defense. I'm just blown away by all of this.
Clint, tag me in. The question was, what do you expect to see from your team this week?
I expect to see more passes from Jackson Arnold
up to the
Cam
squad
Coleman
on
and Eric
Sunday
Singleton
because
and
he's
Malcolm
still
Simmons.
busy outside of Chick-fil-A, demanding that they stay open, demanding that they're open for a seventh day. Hates all the cross-country workers that work there 6 days a week. Unbelievable. Sorry, Garrett and Gareth and Gareth. You guys do work hard at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, you're welcome, Zach. I said it. I exposed you. Anyway,
I don't know what's going on, but to answer your question, Gordy, I think more passing from Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. You're playing Ball State, which is neither Ball nor State. So,
Clint, I'm embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for you.
Do we really want to go back to the time where you laughed at me for saying Stetson Bennett was going to run all over you, and you publicly mocked me, and then he ran all over you?
That was 4 years ago, man. You've got to move on.
Where did you think he was going to run? Not the graduation stage, Clint. Got you, Zach. Got you. Playing both
Marler,
sides.
not yet, Marler. Not yet.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.
Stephen Willis, help us out here. You're actually playing an SEC game this week.
Yeah, I'm the lone SEC game this week. This game is not going to be a rock fight. Austin Simmons is going to channel Matt Corral and solve the Mark Stoops curse that Lane Kiffin has at the moment.
Ooh, gross.
All right, I like it. John Neighbors, pretty good from Arkansas week one. You guys get it's an old-fashioned rivalry between Arkansas State and Arkansas, and we need to stop playing games in Little Rock. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't care about anything that was said in like the first 5 minutes of this. Like that was.
Oh, you're so positive usually.
Yeah. But I got Arkansas and Arkansas State. It's just, it's a historic rivalry that so many people have won in this state because you have a bunch of morons running politics, and everyone's just like, well, this will mean great things for the state, so we can play each other and it'll be great. And then nobody cares. You know why? Because Arkansas, you get made fun of as it is. And you're already saying, hey, let's get this in-state rivalry going with a frickin' Sun Belt team. That sounds great. Really proud of that fact. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome playing it in War Memorial. Can't wait to see how much water they run out of. Maybe the toilets will work this time. The play clock always malfunctions, and they got to take it out on the field. Just take it all out the pasture like old Yeller and put it out of its misery, and hopefully Arkansas just gets out of there with a win.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe you find your attitude in the toilet. It sounds like that's where it belongs, mister.
I'll be watching just to see if Butch Jones brings a trash can out for Arkansas State. That will be one to watch. Corey Burton, Vandy going on the road to Blacksburg. What can we expect from the Vanderbilt Commodores?
Well, they're going to be sick of Inner Sandman by the end of this week. I'll tell you that much. But Eli Stowers is going to have a big game, I think, and they're finally going to get him going. He's had some hamstring issues in training camp, so he's healthy. He's ready to go. They're going to get him going.
Yeah, I saw the latest Vegas odds for the what's the tight end award? Is that the Mackey? He's the front runner after 1 week, of course. No surprise there. Marler, Corey's playing the team that South Carolina just played in Virginia Tech, disposed of them or pretty easily. Now they get South Carolina State. So what are you expecting in this one?
I'd like to use my time to argue with Zach a little bit more. Here's the thing.
Please.
No, what I expect this week, I'm praying for no injuries. Another big game, obviously, from the North. Hopefully there's no touchdowns that are overturned because of ridiculousness that we apparently have. The new rule that we can't figure out how to define is not targeting anymore. It's targeting and what is a catch. And in 2025, I've learned that you can be anything you want to be. You can be a catch. You can be anything. You're catch fluid now in the Clemson LSU game. So I'll say I think that they have a great game. I think that also, yeah, you're welcome, John. There's a smile on your face finally. I think that Dylan Stewart has a massive game, and I think he gets out of there with multiple sacks, and that's all I got. Catch fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently for a catch now, you got to take the ball home with you to complete the catch. Clint Shamblin, how about the Bulldogs? Look pretty good against Marshall, and now they get the Austin P brains.
John Neighbors, never again will I defend you to anybody else ever in my life. That was it. You're dead to me now after that 5 minutes of don't care about anything. Just to let you know, I was going to be Arkansas proud through and through, and Chance in Texas can go take a hike, but whatever. Here's the thing we're going to see. We're going to see more people that were dinged up last game not play this game. A number of Georgia players that were notable will not be playing in this game. We won't see him. Secondly, we'll see Kirby Smart said so at the presser, and we'll see it again. We won't see Georgia cover the spread, and we will see Austin Peavy catch a couple of scores because he wants to play all the players possible. He gets them in early and often, led the SEC in snaps from different players, and that'll continue against Austin P all the way through to the end.
Gunnar Stockton, leading rusher for Georgia. Didn't have that on my bingo card after 1 week. John Miller, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk week.
Oh, no. You had to lead with that. Just a stake right through my heart immediately, Gordy.
What can we expect from Mizzou?
You know what I think I can expect this week? Something about everything went right for Missouri last week against obviously a weak opponent. One thing that didn't go right, well, their place kicker got injured and he's out for the season. Obviously, that means a different kicker. Secondarily, something that's not really Eli's MO is going for it a lot on fourth down. I think you've got to be more aggressive. Plus, Bo Prabula showed he can run the football last week, too. I think it fits what this team does to be a little bit more aggressive, especially in fourth and short. So at least that's what I hope I'm going to see. Again, that goes against what Eli usually does.
What did Blake Craig make? What was the field goal distance?
Something like 55, 56 in the game. I mean, he's been hot going back to the end of last year, so it's a real bummer.
That sucks. Bring back the fat kicker. We need more Beavistas. Jimmy Stein. Oh, my God. Bama. Yes. What do they need to do?
I think you're going to see a reversal of what's been a pattern in the last few years. Last few years, Alabama's played well in the opener, usually against a good opponent. They play well in the opener. Week 2 come out really flat as a big favorite against a non-conference opponent. That's what kind of the schedule pattern has been. That's how Alabama's performance pattern has been. I think this week, based on all circumstances, there won't be a flat performance against outmanned Louisiana Monroe. I think it'll be a more fired up Alabama team. Now, does that mean they're going to play well, fix some of these execution issues? I don't know. But normally we see a flat, quiet Alabama in week 2 against an outmanned opponent. I think it's going to be a little more noisy this weekend in Bryant-Denny.
They don't have General Booty there anymore. He's not the quarterback.
No, they don't. But they do run some RPO stuff, and Alabama hasn't stopped that in quite a while. So in that sense, it'll be a little bit of a test.
Jaron Spore, Mississippi State looked good against Southern Miss week 1, and now you get a top 12 team in Arizona State. But in Stark Vegas, what can we expect from Mississippi State?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bold with my prediction. They had 188 yards rushing last week against Southern Miss. I think they topped that against Arizona State, mainly because last week I thought they threw a lot in the first half, and most of those rushing yards was in the second half. Landon, my co-host, and I have talked about it a lot. We think Booth and Bothwell are two of the best running back duos in the SEC, and we think if anything that the Mississippi State's offensive line does is they run block decently. Pass blocking, not so much, but run blocking is definitely their strength. And so I think they're going to be able to run, and maybe that's just wishful thinking because that's also the only way I think they can win the game. So
Fluff Bothwell is one of the best names in the SEC.
Football player or golf caddy?
Corey, did we do you on Vandy?
It's Jay. It's Jay's turn.
Okay, Jay Smith. We got our order mixed up. Jay Smith, the Sooners, they have perhaps the game of the week.
Yeah, I think it is the game of the week. My expectation is a reintroduction of John Mateer to the college football world. I think he's going to go off in this game, and we're going to be excited to see everybody get on the train even more than some of the national people that are already on it.
I thought you were going to say a reintroduction of Jaden Ott, because I don't know what that was in the first game.
When you play an FCS opponent and your running back deals with a shoulder injury in camp, it doesn't make sense to risk them if you don't have to. But then we had another running back hurt their shoulder. And so, injuries suck.
Well, let's hold it there. Michigan at Oklahoma, Ole Miss at Kentucky. We're going to preview those games. The SEC squad talking more ball next. Back to the squad show in just a second, but listen up, SEC fans. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. You simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. And when you use our limited time promo code FOOTBALL, you'll get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed anyway. At first, you're going to think it was too good to be true, but it is totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commute, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using our limited time promo code FOOTBALL for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code FOOTBALL. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Hey, this is Mazda's Moving the Game Forward, brought to you by those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible. They remind us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep moving the game forward. So you need to check out, of course, what's happening across the SEC week in and week out. And when you talk about a clutch play, no more better clutch play than what Harold Perkins did late on that fourth down stop against Clemson last week to secure the victory for LSU, rushing Klubnik and forcing him to throw the ball before he wanted to on the fourth down. That was a defining moment, going for it no matter what, or look, whatever it is, that is what keeps fans and players alike moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like that, there's more to every highlight. There's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. SEC Squad Show, Week 2, rolled along here. And gents, let's open it up. Open forum. We'll start with the game of the week, and that is Michigan at Oklahoma. Bryce Underwood, the big top recruit, looked pretty good last week at, whoever the hell they played, some slappy Nevada or
New Mexico.
But Jay, let's start with you. Thoughts on this one? College game day coming to Norman.
Nevada.
College game day coming to Norman. It's been a bit, and I'm excited about it. This is going to be a big game. I think Tennessee came when Tennessee was here last year. They had game day in town, but no, Bryce Underwood is going to be fascinating to see what he looks like. He looked pretty solid against New Mexico. Like, they weren't perfect. They had some issues on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and were kind of moving it the way they wanted. But he's going to be a fascinating watch. If there's anything I can say, and I'm just going to be completely honest with everybody, I am very happy that we're seeing Bryce Underwood in his second career start in college football. Because if you see him a little bit later, he might be a problem. He actually looked, some of the throws when I rewatched it, those were throws by someone that's been in college football for a couple of years, and you can see he threw it with confidence. And so I'm hoping that, he comes out there and sees a few ghosts with Brent Venables switching things up for him. But Wink Martindale is going to definitely give John Mateer something to think about when Michigan's defense get on the field.
Anybody else got a vibe on this one? Michigan, can they pull off the upset of Oklahoma?
I'm leaning toward the Sooners for certain, certainly because the experience factor at quarterback, even though obviously technically Mateer, a newcomer for Oklahoma, he has a ton of experience at this level. I've got to favor them. And just in Norman, I got to see something from Michigan too in the post Jim Harbaugh era before I just completely buy into, they're definitely a blue blood for the end of time now. Let's actually see their new coach prove something. Maybe they will here.
Michigan's a pretty dang good team, all things considered. Defense is still there from previous years. Running back, we know very well, and he's a very, very much a baller on that. And then you saw Underwood. You're exactly right, Jay. I'm glad you recognize that game 2 in his career is where you want him. This just in Ohio State, it might be 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row for y'all coming down that game. But if Michigan is who we think they are, and Oklahoma matches them, and Oklahoma is able to stop the run, and Mateer is able to pass the ball, all of a sudden my thoughts of that 9-3, 10-2 Oklahoma season that I had predicted come really true. This is a big game in that trajectory, Jay, and I do think Oklahoma takes the W.
And I think,
but I'm sure something will happen, and Clint will just change his mind and act like that never happened.
I bet on Auburn. Just I bet 3 units on Auburn and the points, and I'm a very happy man in my FanDuel.
So you just don't believe? Whatever.
Garen, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna. I feel like Oklahoma's the better team, but I feel like the only thing that makes me hesitant is in Brent Venables' career. It feels like every time it's all right, this is the biggest game of your career, they lose those games. But with that being said, last year we saw against Nico, young quarterback, just like Underwood, he confused Nico all game, which now we know that's not saying much after watching Nico. But if Arnold could have done something, maybe they upset the Volunteers last year. And so maybe that's what they're able to do. At least Oklahoma's hoping they can do with Mateer at quarterback versus Arnold last year.
The one offensive line situation fixed at Oklahoma from a year ago.
Yeah, that's actually a lot better. We don't have 6 guys injured on the offensive line this year. Thank goodness. We have 1. But that was because he had surgery in the offseason. It wasn't an actual injury in game. And that was one of our biggest issues, was that all the young guys the veterans we wanted to play got hurt. Then you brought in the transfers, they got hurt. And now, but we actually have healthy players this year, which that's the only reason why I feel comfortable with the offensive line. A lot of them have been there 2 years, some for 3, and they're actually been through all of fall camp, and we don't have any issues with that. So thank goodness on that. But man, it could be touch and go when it comes to that, especially with that Michigan defensive line. So we'll see how that turns out.
Steven, quick thought, and then we'll get to your game. Go ahead.
I was just curious with the John Mateer and the stat line that he put up. Why did you only score 35 points against an FCS opponent? The stat line and the score didn't really match up.
No, it was one drive that he put up some big yards. The new tight end that we have, Jaron Kanik, who moved from linebacker to tight end, he fumbled the ball. So as we were going to score, he fumbled. So that's probably going to get you to 42. And then from there, it was just they didn't try very hard. It was John Mateer could have probably ran for 150 yards in that game, but he didn't. He just sat in the pocket and threw the ball. And it felt like he was purposely not trying to actually run, because there was a few times I'm like, dude, there's a big lane right there. And he was just sitting there. He waited. The pass blocking was really good. And then he threw it to a wide receiver across the middle. I was like, oh. And they didn't really try for any deep shots. It was a lot of waiting for the play to develop to see the wide receiver get there. And then you start to see something. So it was more of we didn't try a whole bunch of big big shot plays. It was a lot of him playing catch in the backyard.
And if Mateer performs well this week, he'll be right there at the top of the list with the Heisman favorites. Let's get to another game. Steven, your Ole Miss Rebels taking on the Kentucky Wildcats, and this has been one that it's been close the last 4 years. Kentucky won by 3 last year. Ole Miss won the 3 previous, but all by 1 score or less. So tell us why this year will be different.
This year will be different because Ole Miss has a defense, unlike the 2020 team had. They have a defense now. And second of all, I think Austin Simmons is going to play the game like Matt Corral did. Matt Corral was 24-29 for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns in that 2020 game. That was the 1 year that Mark Stoops didn't have the voodoo over Lane Kiffin. Jackson Dart, see, the thing about Mark Stoops, whenever he wants a trip to be like the dentist for the other team, he wants it to be hard. He wants to muck it up. He wants an ugly game. He wants a rock fight. And Jackson Dart played directly into his hand. Jackson Dart was a wonderful quarterback, a first-round quarterback, but he wanted to score 14-point touchdowns. And once they stopped the run, he would just sink back. Jackson Dart would try and hit Trey Harris, who had 11 catches for like 75% of the passing yards last year against Kentucky. And it just played directly into Mark Stoops' hand. I think Austin Simmons is going to play the game like Matt Corral did, a little bit quicker, a little bit more quick game, side to side. The jet sweep is back for Ole Miss, and I think the offense is going to actually get on gear against Kentucky. And if you're up by 2 touchdowns on Kentucky, it becomes 4 touchdowns really quick with the way they play football.
Anybody think Kentucky?
Hold on. John Neighbors is making so many faces right now. I feel like he should talk.
Well, I feel that Ole Miss better beat Kentucky, or else Ole Miss should fire Lane Kiffin. And I'm not joking about that whatsoever, because at some point you got to get past this idea of like, okay, you're just a good coach. You don't want to say that you've peaked already, but if you lose to Kentucky again this year, you got to fire him. And I just feel very strongly about that. I think that Ole Miss is going to win. I feel like that's a game that they should win, and the matchup favors them. But at the same time, it does make me laugh because I love chaos. Because Arkansas, they're just whatever. It's fun to see other teams struggle, and it's fun to see other teams kind of go through it. And it would just be really funny to me if that happened. If Kentucky beat Ole Miss, I don't think they will, but it would be funny. So
like Alabama right now, they're struggling.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you Kentucky's other SEC home games this year are Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. If they're going to win one of the SEC games, this one might be the one because, this is your best chance.
This is going to tell me everything I need to know about Ole Miss, this game, and how they come out and how they perform. Did Lane learn all this? Do we carry over from last year, all the wisdom that he got? Does he still have it, or is he going to go back to old habits when pressing an opponent that really does like mucking up in a telephone booth? And if Austin takes that step forward and the defense shows up, now I have a little bit more respect. Those 3 games start looking more interesting to me, because right now I don't feel great about Ole Miss's chances to come out of that without losing 2 of those 3 games you just described.
Kentucky just doesn't seem to have as many dudes as they had recently. They put a cornerback in the first round last year. I don't see any first-round picks in that lineup right now. They're just sort of dudeless.
Are you talking about Zach Calzada not being a first-rounder? How dare you? But no, I don't see them being able to keep up with Ole Miss's tempo. The jet sweep, the jet read, all that stuff that Lane Kiffin, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that he did at FAU. I just don't. I see that happening, and I don't see Kentucky being able to keep up with that.
Yeah, Zach Calzada last week, 10 of 23 for 85 yards against Toledo. You're going to have to do better than that if they're going to beat Kentucky, Ole Miss this week. All right, we got some other.
Say this real quick. I will say this. Ole Miss had a problem in last week's game against Georgia State, giving up explosive in the run game. That is Kentucky's path.
We got some other big matchups, Kansas and Mizzou, Arizona State, Mississippi State. We'll break down the rest of the big SEC matchups after this. Hey guys, it's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it matters most. we're going to break it down. And for a team like Auburn, it was Jackson Arnold who delivered in a big way on the ground for the Auburn Tigers last Friday against the Baylor Bears. When the pressure was on, he came through, no hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, his performance wasn't a fluke. Jackson Arnold is on a streak that we'll see how many more rushing yards he can get this week against Ball State. But just like Jackson Arnold delivered, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day. Only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through 11/18. SEC squad talking more ball, and gents, let's get into it. John Miller, I know, hates him some Kansas Jayhawks. So John Miller, jump in here. Tell us why we should be all aboard the MIZ train.
Well, to your first point there on just my hatred of Kansas, that's actually a good transition. I'm really interested to see, after this rivalry has not been played since 2011, you've got transient rosters compared to the past in the portal era. Are you going to have the same level of hate on the field? Are you going to have the same level of unpredictableness that you tend to expect in an Auburn, Alabama type of game? Missouri and Kansas traditionally has had that type of hate in it, and sometimes that type of unpredictability. On paper, Missouri's got a way better roster than Kansas. If you look at the quarterback and the coach for Kansas, I think you have to respect both of them, and that makes me pause for sure. So I still got the Tigers winning, of course, but I'm not going to say this is an easy walkover or anything. Frankly, if Missouri does pound Kansas, that's a great sign for the rest of the season.
John, what's the plan for Jalen Daniels? What's that looking like?
Frankly, he's not the biggest guy in the world, and sometimes can be a little injury prone. Hit him. Keep him in the pocket. I think Missouri has waves of defensive linemen they can throw out there. I think that's got to be the plan.
With Missouri potentially beating Kansas this weekend, which is I think will happen. Auburn beats Baylor last Friday. Mississippi State, heck of an opportunity at home against Arizona State. It's not like people are going into this season matching up the SEC and the Big 12, but when teams projected to be mid-SEC teams or even lower SEC teams are beating contenders in the Big 12, it's a heck of a statement.
No doubt.
If you don't know, there's no hotels in the state of Mississippi. So
there's one with casinos.
There's apparently casinos in Starkville now.
Jared,
the funny thing about that, sorry, real quick, Kenny Dillingham coached at Memphis. He knows exactly what is in Oxford and Starkville.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of places to stay around outside of Oxford. Jaron, Arizona State, number 12 team in the country. Obviously, they lost Cam Scatterbo, but still have the quarterback back. What are we looking for? Mississippi State at Mississippi State in Starkville. I mean, the cowbells will be a clanging.
Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity, obviously. Now we'll see all the improvement, all the changes they made this offseason. How much was it worth it? Obviously, going 2-10 last year, not great for year one under Jeff Lebby. So we'll see what year two provides. But, last year they lost 30-23 on the road. We know Arizona State went to the playoff, and as I mentioned, Mississippi State struggled. They held Leavitt to 69 yards passing. They held Jordan Tyson to 7 yards receiving, but Cam had 262 yards rushing. So hopefully you can contain the run game a little bit better. And then, Tyson is obviously one of the best receivers in the country. I don't think you're going to have that kind of success again, holding him to 7 yards. But, last week, him and Kyson Brown were their only offense. Kyson Brown had like 7 for 73 receiving and 7 for 72 rushing or something like that. And then Tyson had 140-something yards receiving. So they made up almost all the receiving yards. So you'll just have to figure out a way to limit them and probably have to double-team Tyson because they don't have much receiving threat outside of Tyson.
Real quick, did they pull off the upset?
I'm going to say no, but I'm going to say it's very close. And I will say at least –
Jaron, you got to go full – you got to double
Come
down,
on, Jaron.
You got to quadruple down, my boy.
Ask me again on Friday because I'm starting to lean – especially when I saw the video of them trying to imitate the cowbells.
I was going to say that. They had a manager just ringing the cowbells the whole time.
I know,
hilarious.
So I might talk myself into it by Friday.
Although if Mississippi State beats Arizona State, I think Drake Toll should have to retire.
I was gonna say I don't
I
want to hear
agree.
from any of the Big
Can
12
we make
staff.
that happen?
Our locked on Big 12 guys need to just they need to stick to boring Big 12 play. One game that if there's somebody on upset alert this week in the SEC, I watched South Florida take it to top 25 Boise last week. I mean, Byron Brown, I feel like he's been there 18 years. They moved the ball up and down the field on Boise. They're going to the Swamp to play 13th ranked Florida this Saturday. I'm just telling you, DJ Lagway and company, they look good in week 1, but USF's going to come and try to pick a dogfight with them.
I like Florida, but it is a legitimate test. That's a legitimate test. That offense is difficult to prepare for.
It's
Tennessee's
I agree.
offense. It's Tennessee's offense, but with a dynamic quarterback, a little different than Nico, even different than Joey Aguilar. But that's the Tennessee offense run by a dynamic athlete, so it's pretty interesting.
Don't they go to Miami the week after or something like that?
They go to LSU. Well, USF, I think, goes to Miami. Florida comes to LSU the next week. So,
And then
Okay,
they
have
What
LSU
an
then
easy
Miami.
Yeah.
What an easy schedule. Good Lord, what a cakewalk.
And then Texas at home. Yeah, it's easy.
Lord. Yeah, super easy. What? It's just
Jealous.
geez. I know. I want that schedule.
Scheduling cupcakes with Texas.
is anybody picking an upset this week of any of those games we hit on?
I think Mississippi State can pull it off.
Yeah, I'll take.
Yeah,
I think
Mississippi
State can do it. I
They don't have Cam
with him.
Cataboo, so
True.
Jaron, I got your back, man. Then
we need all the help.
What's the line on the Vandy Virginia Tech game?
it is sitting at 2.5 right now.
2.5 Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Give me Vandy. That's
yeah,
my
give me
upset.
Vandy on that.
Oh yeah, is that actually an upset though?
It's gonna probably not. It's
The underdog's winning at least.
Oh, okay, that's fair. They are dogs.
We're gonna come out. of
Vandy
this
beat them
game-
last year too, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They pushed them around too. They were. It was a couple explosive plays that got Virginia Tech back in the game, but they pushed them around in the first half. It was about to be a blowout city. And then
Anybody want to pick Arkansas State? I'm just kidding, John.
Right, he might as well at this point. I mean, I don't even know if that would be an upset, honestly. But it's I don't know. Is Kansas over Missouri an upset?
Yeah, that's
would
like
think so.
I don't
Points
think
per
so
loss,
either.
Yeah,
Kansas is actually pretty good if Jalen Daniels isn't hurt.
yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it.
I haven't watched a lot of Kansas.
I watched a lot of Jalen Daniels.
I think
We're gonna
Missouri's
avalanche them,
favored
honestly.
the exact same Arizona State's favored over Mississippi State. I think it's 6.5 on both of
it's
them.
a-
Not many
Como.
teams are 2-0 right now. Kansas is.
True.
Ooh,
True.
And they've looked good.
that's a good point.
Gordy, we know it's in Como because they have 6 straight Como games to start the year somehow. So yeah,
Few other, yeah, that is crazy. They don't leave until like late October. They finally play a game outside their house. A few other things just like we'll be watching for this week. Texas hosts San Jose State. But what I'm looking for is you want to see Arch Manning. ABC picked up that game. It's 11 a.m. on ABC national TV because they want to showcase Arch. I think Arch looks more like Arch this week.
well, of course, it's San
But yeah,
Jose.
it's a lesser team.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, he's
It's kind of like he
he's
looked like
never
against
had
who
a
was it,
problem with these bad games.
Louisiana
Joe
Monroe.
Not a-
Joe Monroe and
It's like I was talking
UTSA.
about. It's like I was talking about the pattern with Alabama playing a tough opponent first, and then if Arch had played San Jose last week, this week Arch Mania would be, and then he'd played Ohio State in week 2, and then we saw what happened. I mean, opponent scheduling it just almost dictates our sport these days.
Yeah.
Listen, if Arch's mechanics don't get better, he's going to struggle this whole season. Series.
The Uncle Rico memes are
Hilarious.
hilarious, man.
Hilarious.
I can't get enough of those.
John Neighbors, just a little shine I want to give to Taylon Green, 6 touchdowns in week 1. As somebody said to me, oh, who cares who they play? I said, well, if it were that easy, why don't quarterbacks throw for 6 touchdowns every week? But Taylon Green and Bobby Petrino, that marriage picking up right where it left off, right?
yeah. Thank you. I feel like I'm the kid over here that's just being like, oh man, let's give him a little bit of a nod. He's been in the corner behaving himself. That's great. Thank you, Gordy. I appreciate it. Yeah, Taylon Green's been great. 6 touchdowns for him. And that's the thing is I don't care who it's against. Doing that is awesome. He's on pace. He's on pace to have a lot of touchdown throws.
Just be careful. Be careful, neighbors, because Auburn scored 70 points on that team last year, and the season was terrible. So just be careful.
Well, Arkansas scored 70 points on UAPB, and they had 10-minute third quarter and fourth quarter, and it didn't. Listen, there's no with Razorback fans, there's no like, oh, be careful, don't get too ahead of yourself here. Like we don't know what that's like because every single game is a crapshoot. It's literally like trying to hold a fart in when you have explosive diarrhea. You're going to trust it. You're never going to trust it no matter what happens. So you're just going to watch the game and hope for the best.
I hate that that's over 30 minutes in. I hate that happens so late in the show.
One more question on the way out, guys. Just after week one, throw it out there. Who's the most impressive team you think, or who's the best team in the SEC in your opinion?
LSU.
Yeah,
LSU. Go Tigers.
It's not Texas or Alabama.
The way that they played in that Clemson game, yeah, I was impressed.
That second half
they were
was
able to
awesome. Lights out. Yeah,
Masterclass.
I will say,
Harold Perkins is back.
I wish Georgia had played a better opponent to get a better judge of what they are, but I think it's LSU Georgia right now. One weekend.
Hey, Gordy, that tweet I tagged you in with Dan Casey, that's a whole thread of like play designs from that game. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're seeing creativity. It's what we didn't see from Sark at Ohio State. Where was the creativity? Like just boring, vanilla.
And he didn't trust his quarterback. I mean, that's the truth.
That's what happens. I mean, I've been in those shoes. Like I've called plays in that situation where I'm like, my quarterback cannot throw the ball down the field. What am I going to do? I've been in that situation.
And when Ewers was the quarterback, he would have called those plays. That's the real.
That's why Corey is our resident OC. If anybody's going to get a head coaching job in the SEC, we're all
quarterbacks that you.
I'm going to Alabama next year, guys. It's been real.
Shoot, Ryan Grubb. I mean, he may be one and done there in Tuscaloosa.
I got a few ball plays I can run.
All I heard all offseason was how great Ryan Grubb is, and after week one, everyone's like, he sucks. I'm like, what happened?
He's still good. It's weird there. The culture's just weird.
I did not have an A-bomb explosion in Tuscaloosa on my bingo card going into the season.
You know, the Seahawks, when he was with the Seahawks a year ago, the refrain from fans up there were that he would abandon the run game and not run the ball enough and put too much on the quarterback. And then in the game this weekend against Florida State, they rushed for 55 yards on the very first drive of the game, and there's only 19 rush attempts the rest of the game. So it just kind of fell right in line with what the Seahawks fans were saying. But we'll see. There's a lot of football left.
Jimmy, if you could trade Kalen DeBoer for Lane Kiffin right now, would you do it?
Yes. Yeah, I had to think about it.
He's like,
I had to think about it. Well, yes, because there's a lot of momentum with Lane. There's a lot of momentum with Lane right now. But again, I think the sample size, I think everyone's forgotten what Kalen DeBoer was before he got to Alabama. There's only been 14 games. 5-5 in the last 10 is crazy. Lane hasn't won anything at Ole Miss, but what he's done there is extremely impressive based on Ole Miss history. I think 3 of the 4 best seasons at Ole Miss in the last 50 years. And again, a lot of positive momentum there, but it's not going to happen. I mean, but we'll see.
Yeah. Zach, would you trade Hugh Freeze for Lane Kiffin right now?
Not right now.
You're out of your mind. You're an idiot. You're dumb. You're dumb. That's an insane thing.
Go ahead, Steve. Close us out.
Thank you, Zach. Oh, close it out. First conference victory of the year is coming Ole Miss's way this weekend. They're finally going to not humiliate everybody.
If we start where Kentucky's the lone 1-0 SEC team, you're hosting the squad show next week, Steven.
Yeah, if Kentucky wins the game, I will absolutely host the squad show.
All right, well, we will look forward to that. Gents, thanks for hopping in. Thank you guys for checking out the SEC squad. We're here every week talking all things SEC. And, hey, we're starting a new Sunday recap show for our squad that can jump in for that. Want to remind you guys, too, Locked On and Fire TV present the College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football preview, a weekly preview. Drake Toll with Gary Patterson and Jesse Holly and all of our Locked On local experts. A college football preview show only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been our Locked On SEC Squad Show.
We're